Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are here with Literacy Pittsburgh. We are so honored to have them on the call with us. And we are joining you from Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So today we are going to talk about how to submit a strong application. And first, I think we should introduce ourselves. So Mike, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Burke, and I'm the Director of International Student Services in Duquesne's Center for Global Engagement.
Abby?
Hi, I'm Abby Seeley. I am the Enrollment Manager at Literacy Pittsburgh.
And Lori?
Hi, my name is Lori Como. I'm the Chief Program Officer at Literacy Pittsburgh.
Thank you. And I'm Megan Evangelist. I'm the Assistant Director of International Admissions at Duquesne. So we brought you here today to talk about what does a strong application look like. So we're going to talk about kind of navigating the process of applying to a university or college in the US and share some helpful information that's coming up in the future for you to join us. So I'd say the most important thing for you to know when you're preparing is know your colleges, know your university. So research your program. I know this is time, but it's important to do. You'll want to look at scholarship opportunities and see what is offered to you. Talk ahead of time, and we'll go through this information too, with any teachers or coaches, people in your community who can write a good recommendation letter for you. You'll need time to prepare your essay or personal statement, and also preparing for tests like the SAT. You will most likely be getting your admissions decision by email. That's how a lot of the universities are doing it now. So once that application is in and complete, you'll get a response via email. So I just wanted to show just a snapshot of what logging into an application portal looks like. So for instance, if you were applying to Duquesne, you would go on and you'll see that you would create an account. That way you're putting all of your information onto the computer. So they'll ask you for your background information, such as your name, your address, phone, and email. They'll ask you for your current high school information. And then they'll also ask you for recommendation information from your teachers. So it's important to have that information ready and upfront, ready to go. So making sure you're prepared to apply. Usually students will put in their applications for the fall, starting in, I'd say January, but schools will accept applications moving forward. So some materials that you'll need to have ready to go are your official transcripts, your tests, such as SAT scores, recommendation letters, your essay, and if the school requires an application fee, this is something that you would want to have ready to go as well. So there is an opportunity to apply to many universities using one application, and this is called the Common App. So some schools do take Common App. I would say if you're looking at the majority of schools, 900 colleges and universities do accept it. So I would take a look at that. For the application fee, some schools require it. Duquesne does not require an application fee. So also something to research. So whenever you're submitting your materials for your application, make sure that they're official. That means that they're coming from your high school directly, that they are marked as official. Sometimes students will try to print out their grades from their portal, and that typically is marked as a copy. So you'll want to make sure that you are submitting officials. Also, recommendation letters should be sent directly from your teacher. That way, we're making sure that those are official and coming from the person Also, if you're sending test scores, a lot of schools will have an institution code so that you can release your scores directly to that school. That way, if you sit down to take the SAT and you know, hey, I'm applying to University of Pittsburgh, you have their code ready to go so you can add it to your test. It's really, really a good thing to have strong recommendation letters. I know that Duquesne, we read every single recommendation letter, and it gives us a good sense of who you are as a student, and it also helps with your scholarship amount. So talking to someone that really knows you well, a teacher who's seen you grow and change, someone in the community that you've done community service with, this is a great person to ask. So go to them, give them some time. I always give my person that I'm asking for a recommendation letter at least a month to say, hey, I need a recommendation letter by this date. Follow up with them to make sure that they know that date again as you're getting closer, so they have that submitted. If they need more information, you can talk to them about an obstacle you had overcome, a leadership role that you took, any way that you made a big improvement in your academics. That can help them to write the letter too. Also, I like to thank my people who write me a recommendation letter. You can write them a thank you card after. You could take them for coffee if it's a safe time. So just have those things in mind too. So for an essay, not all schools will require you to write an essay, but if they do, this is also another opportunity for the admissions team to really get to know you. So take some time, write a thorough essay introducing yourself, telling us why you're a unique applicant, and then also understanding the university. So why do you want to apply to this university? What do you want to do in your field? Have you had any experience in this field studying? And then do you have goals for after graduation? Are you interested in helping the community after you graduate? Are you interested in starting your own business, for example? So I would say oftentimes we get essays that the student will just take the name of the university and remove it and put in Duquesne. And you can tell the difference whenever someone's specifically writing to you or if they're just writing a generic essay. So take the time to really put yourself into this essay. So just as an example, this is what we require at Duquesne. The essay should be 250 to 300 words and answer the following questions, including examples of research, shadowing, or volunteering. So what is unique about you? Why have you chosen this program? How will Duquesne help you to achieve your academic, personal, and professional goals? And what are your reasons and motivation for attending the program, in addition to any specific research topics? So finally, there are different application deadlines that you'll want to be aware of. Each school is different, so it doesn't make your life easy, but that is part of the research. So understanding that some schools have rolling admissions, that means as soon as the application is received, the admissions committee will review it and give you a decision. You can apply at any time for this. Early decision programs usually have a November deadline, and they let the student know by December if they're admitted to the program. So students who apply for something like this is a binding agreement. The student will come and commit to that school. Early acceptance, this is usually for students who are going to receive a decision in January or February, and these decisions are not keeping you to that school. And then also there are set deadlines. So be aware that you might look at a program and they have a, for example, March 1st deadline. That means that the application has to be in by that date in order for you to be considered for that program. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mike, a very important topic to talk about scholarships.
Thanks so much, Megan. So yeah, you've decided, what university you're going to study at, what type of program you're interested in. But another area that requires a lot of research and is equally important is how are we going to fund that education? So let's begin by talking a little bit about scholarships and fellowships and what the difference is between the two. So scholarships are generally funds that are based on, your financial need, your GPA or your grades, maybe what kind of extracurricular activities you've been involved in, such as community service. Some scholarships are aimed directly at your major and what you're studying. And finally, sometimes the city you're located in will also make you eligible for certain scholarships. Fellowships, on the other hand, are more aimed at graduate students. These are for the purpose of professional or career development, and they involve study in a specific field or a particular area that you need to research to advance work in that area. And finally, maybe it would be a fellowship based on a community-based organization or initiative. So just scholarships, generally, if you're an undergraduate, you'll be looking at scholarships, and fellowships are more in the realm of a graduate student. So here are some really useful links that I think if you're out there and you want to, do a screenshot of this or, access this presentation following are 2021 scholarships and fellowships. And these are specifically do not require proof of US citizenship or legal permanent residency. So a lot of federal financial aid, they will require citizenship, but here is a list which do not, and it could be very useful for you if you are in that situation. So let's look at an example scholarship. So when you're doing your research on your scholarship, just like when you're looking at your university or your program, it's really about doing the legwork prior to applying. So if you're looking through the documents that we just referenced in the previous slide, you want to look through there and highlight the ones that apply to you. Some things that you need to be aware of is the due date, what region or what area that the scholarship might apply to. Does the scholarship apply to a field of study that you are entering into? And what about eligibility? Who is eligible for the scholarship? So, and then finally, be sure to access, the link of that scholarship so you can get more detailed information. So here's an example of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. So obviously the due date is February 15th. The award amount is listed. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund can be for high school seniors, it can be for undergraduate students, or it can be for graduate students. And it's nationwide. It's not specific to one particular area. Or for that matter, any field of study as well. So the eligibility, if you're planning to enroll in an accredited not-for-profit four-year university or graduate school for fall or the upcoming academic year, you must be able to prove Hispanic heritage. You must be DACA eligible. And usually the GPA requirement is going to be a 3.0 for high school or a 2.5 for college students. And there at the very end, we see the link. And once again, you really want to know your scholarships that you're applying for. You want to be efficient in this process, and you want to be applying for things that you're going to be eligible for. So you really should be accessing the links to these scholarships and really doing your research prior to applying. Okay, a couple questions that we get quite often one is, to complete the FAFSA form, do I need a social security number? The answer to that is yes. Social security number and proof of US citizenship is necessary to complete the FAFSA form. Another question is, as an undocumented student or DACA student, am I eligible for federal student aid? The answer to that, once again, is no. Undocumented students, including DACA students, are not eligible for federal student aid programs. However, you may be eligible for state or college financial aid, and there's a large host of scholarships that are funded by private entities that you may be eligible for. And one note before moving on from this slide is your parent's citizenship status doesn't affect your eligibility for federal student aid. In fact, FAFSA does not ask you for your parent's citizenship status. Okay, so the next steps. You've sort of highlighted and you've sort of pinpointed some scholarships that you would like to, apply for. So what should you do? Well, the first step is probably meet with your high school guidance counselor or your career counselor to discuss the scholarships that you've targeted. Discuss your eligibility for state and college financial aid, review the list of scholarships, and then present your ideas to your high school guidance counselor. There's also the idea of working on campus. A lot of work study are funded through federal programs, so you won't be eligible, but that does not mean that you will not be eligible to work on campus, on the campus, not off campus. So I guess what I really like to point out about this slide is you don't have to go through this for yourself. Use your resources, reach out to counselors, reach out to guidance counselors, and there are people out there to help you go through this process. Okay, so now I'd like to turn it back over to Megan, and she's going to talk about an exciting program that we have in the works for this summer. Megan?
Thank you. So this summer we do have a program that's coming up on Duquesne's campus. It's called the RISE program, and it is going to be held 2 days a week in June and July. This is a free program for students to join. And we're going to do a lot on campus where we're preparing you for university life, as well as meeting with other departments so you can learn more about what goes on at a university. We're doing field trips, and each day we will provide transportation and lunch for you. So if you're interested, please contact me. I would love to get you signed up. My email address is evangelistm@duq.edu. Also, you can take a look at our website, and that is duq.edu/global. So I'm going just to turn it over to Lori at Literacy Pittsburgh just to tell you about Literacy Pittsburgh.
Hi, we are happy to have you here, and Literacy Pittsburgh is proud to partner on this initiative. We offer free English classes as well as high school equivalency and academic brush-up classes to people who are out of school adults who are looking to improve their skills or to get that high school credential. We additionally provide some transition services for those who are wanting to explore career options or post-secondary goals. We have someone on staff who is willing to work with you and help you to achieve those goals. If you're interested in learning more about our free programs, please give us a call at 412-393-7600, and we will get you started on that part of your journey. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Lori. Okay, so thank you so much for attending today. Our next session is going to be on Saturday, February 13 at 10 a.m. and we really hope to see you there. So thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a great day.